Blowfish is a symmetric-key block cipher, designed in 1993 by Bruce Schneier and included in a large number of cipher suites and encryption products. Blowfish provides a good encryption rate in software and no effective cryptanalysis of it has been found to date. However, the Advanced Encryption Standard now receives more attention. Schneier designed Blowfish as a general-purpose algorithm, intended as an alternative to the aging DES and free of the problems and constraints associated with other algorithms. At the time Blowfish was released, many other designs were proprietary, encumbered by patents or were commercial or government secrets. Schneier has stated that, Blowfish is unpatented, and will remain so in all countries. The algorithm is hereby placed in the public domain, and can be freely used by anyone. Notable features of the design include key-dependent S-boxes and a highly complex key schedule. The algorithm, Blowfish, has a 64-bit block size and a variable key length from 32 bits up to 448 bits. It is a 16-round Fastl cipher and uses large key-dependent S-boxes. In structure it resembles Cast128, which uses fixed S-boxes. The diagram to the left shows the action of Blowfish. Each line represents 32 bits. The algorithm keeps two subkey arrays, the 18-entry P array and four 256-entry S-boxes. The S-boxes accept 8-bit input and produce 32-bit output. One entry of the P array is used every round, and after the final round, each half of the data block is XORed with one of the two remaining unused P entries. The diagram to the upper right shows Blowfish's F function. The function splits the 32-bit input into four 8-bit quarters, and uses the quarters as input to the S-boxes. The outputs are added modulo 232 and XORed to produce the final 32-bit output. Decryption is exactly the same as encryption, except that P1, P2, P18 are used in the reverse order. This is not so obvious because OR is commutative and associative. A common misconception is to use inverse order of encryption as decryption algorithm. Blowfish's key schedule starts by initializing the P array and S boxes with values derived from the hexadecimal digits of pi, which contain no obvious pattern. The secret key is then, byte by byte, cycling the key if necessary, XORed with all the P entries in order. A 64-bit all-zero block is then encrypted with the algorithm as it stands. The resultant ciphertext replaces P1 and P2. The same ciphertext is then encrypted again with the new suitcase, and the new ciphertext replaces P3 and P4. This continues, replacing the entire P array and all the S-box entries. In all, the Blowfish encryption algorithm will run 521 times to generate all the suitcase. About 4 kilobytes of data is processed. Because the P array is 576 bits long, and the key bytes are XORed through all these 576 bits during the initialization, many implementations support key sizes up to 576 bits. While this is certainly possible, the 448 bits limit is here to ensure that every bit of every subkey depends on every bit of the key, as the last four values of the P array don't affect every bit of the ciphertext. This point should be taken in consideration for implementations with a different number of rounds, as even though it increases security against an exhaustive attack, it weakens the security guaranteed by the algorithm. And given the slow initialization of the cipher with each change of key, it is granted a natural protection against brute force attacks, which doesn't really justify key sizes longer than 448 bits. C++ implementation. Blowfish. In practice, Blowfish is a fast block cipher, except when changing keys. Each new key requires pre-processing equivalent to encrypting about 4 kilobytes of text, which is very slow compared to other block ciphers. This prevents its use in certain applications, but is not a problem in others. In one application, Blowfish's slow key changing is actually a benefit. The password hashing method used in OpenBSD uses an algorithm derived from Blowfish that makes use of the slow key schedule. The idea is that the extra computational effort required gives protection against dictionary attacks. C. Key stretching. Blowfish has a memory footprint of just over 4 kilobytes of RAM. This constraint is not a problem even for older desktop and laptop computers, though it does prevent use in the smallest embedded systems such as early smart cards. Blowfish was one of the first secure block ciphers not subject to any patents and therefore freely available for anyone to use. This benefit has contributed to its popularity in cryptographic software. Weakness and successes. Blowfish is known to be susceptible to attacks on reflectively weak keys. This means Blowfish users must carefully select keys as there is a class of keys known to be weak, or switch to more modern alternatives like the Advanced Encryption Standard, SALSA 20, or Blowfish's more modern successors Twofish and Threefish. Bruce Schneier, Blowfish's creator, is quoted in 2007 as saying at this point, though, I'm amazed it's still being used. If people ask, I recommend Twofish instead. The FAQ for New PG recommends that Blowfish should not be used to encrypt files that are larger than 4 GB. See also, AES, Twofish, Threefish, MacGuffin, references. External links, Bruce Schneier. The Blowfish encryption algorithm. Bruce Schneier. Products that use Blowfish. Standard cryptographic algorithm naming, Blowfish A.